Welcome to the latest episode of Gumboot Paradise Eco Stay and Parkover Property. This episode is going to be about my new shed. And just first up, a shout out to Aiden from Grey High, who is my biggest fan. So welcome Aiden, and thank you for your support. Okay, so the biggest question I've had from people about my shed is, what is it for? And so I am an artist. Well, I used to be when I wasn't so busy teaching and making things, and I want to be an artist again, so I need some space to make some paintings, and especially some big ones. Also, I want to have a bit of a wood workshop, and I want to be able to make stuff. So I really like making things from driftwood, and I want to make some things called hyper tufa pots, because I've got a whole bunch of plants that I want to plant in there. So, and it may one day be a shop, so who knows. But anywho, it means it's a space that I have that if it's raining also I can have woofers do some stuff. So I'm going to give you a little show and tell of the as it is today. It's like the 30th of April, and then you're going to watch a bit of a video about how we got here. So voila. So at the moment we're close to getting a roof put on the shed. Actually, I'm going to flip you around. Oh no, you might like to see my face. Anywho, so up here you can see we've done half of the rafters, so we've got 3 big rafters up, and the purlins are up, and we've got some wire up there. It's going to have some builder's paper on, and then the tin's going to go on. And we've also, around here, we've got this wall pretty much framed up, and it's going to have some lovely old gates that my dad gave me. So I'll show you. Here's one of them. Can you see that? I think I'm going to keep it quite distressed, and then I might just polyurethane it. And here's my other one, kind of paint effect styles. So that's going on this end, and then I've got another couple of those over in my little stash over here. So I'll have it like a single door, and then I've got another double door in there, and that will go on, hope you don't get sick of this end here. So the other end, I've actually got a surprise for you later, so you have to wait for that. Okay, so hopefully within the next week we'll actually have the roof on. Maybe, we'll see how we go, depends on the weather. Day 1 of shed building, so we're sorting out foundations today. Do you mind being on a video, Mike? This is my builder, Mike. Maxim, are you alright about being on a video?
Yeah, no problem.
There's Maxim, he's from France, and he's cleaning out my mess so we can move the shelf. We've just moved my poor dilapidated gazebo, and the last wind shredded the top. So now I've got a big sewing job. So yeah, we just have to move this shelf, which is a bit of a pain. And then Mike's going to start making this level. Well, I thought I would show you the new piles on my container. So exciting. That's phase 1 in building my shed. I'll show you behind as well. So at the moment we've still got the jack in here and some wood just to hold it up while this concrete sets. We've cleared out all this, and I found some tin I'd forgotten I had, 2 benches, all sorts of stuff, all sorts of junk. Chimneys. Look at my little scrap heap. Yeah, that's hidden. Oh yeah, this is my logs, my chipper, which which I have to get working. So pretty exciting. Now I've got to cut my telephone pole in half, get the metal beams cut to the right size and the ends sorted. I'll show you them too. And purchase the timber needed. So here's the metal beams that my dad gave me, but instead of having these brackets like this, I want to actually pop them on the end like they are on here. So these are 5 meters long, and they're going to come off that container and the shed. Shed roof's going to be all changed around, and we're going to get a new pole or two. We're going to replace all the poles eventually. We're going to replace this one first because it's a bit funky monkey. Okay, and that one at the back needs replacing too, and then we'll do the one in the corner. We're going to get rid of this extension of the roof and actually flip the roof around so it goes to the back. We're getting Bill's telephone poles, which were mine, to build my shed. So exciting. So there they go, beginnings of my shed. Very exciting. So this is day 2 with the shed. Here's my timber. Unfortunately, the lady didn't hear me correctly, and I only got 7 6x2s instead of 15. So that's a bit of a bummer, but apart from that, it's going well. I really love that this has got the number of the pole on it. Look at that beautiful thing. Now, isn't that the coolest? It's going to be so fantastic. And my lovely neighbour Troy also helped, and he got this out of the shed for me with his digger. So yeah, I'll keep you informed. It's looking good. I've got Brendan in today doing some welding for my shed. She's gonna be a beauty. Looking forward to the finished product. I'm just having a bit of a smoko break. It's Sunday. I don't usually work on Sunday. I had a bit of most of my afternoon off yesterday, and I've got my builder coming tomorrow. If you look behind me here, you'll see the chaos of my new shed beginning to be born, and I'm trying to get some beams painted, and it's not going so well. Last week the weather was not so great, and I had some stuff I'll show you in a second. Some undercoat, which was for corrugated iron, and I used it on here on my beams, and I put my top coat on and it didn't go so well. Also took like 2 days to dry the top coat, because naughty me, you should never put a really big thick coat on as your first coat. So now I'm cleaning up my mess. If you come closer, you'll see what a horrendous mess it truly is. And I hate that colour, but I'm going to have to live with it. I did get it tinted a wee bit darker, so slightly better. So yeah, today I'm getting the old advertising, this stuff, quick strip, and I've gone and brought something better. You can probably move it slightly backwards. Kill rust, which will go with my top coat, which is over here in the chaos over here. See that? So it's exciting anyway. It's good to get my shed started. Hopefully I can get the roof on before the weather turns to custard. And over here at least I didn't paint them all the brown, but this is the undercoat that I don't think is so great. So I'm sort of stripping some of that off, and I'm going to put my primer on, and hopefully that will work this time. And unfortunately for the builder, I'm not going to have that ready probably for the, I don't know, at least 4 days. And he's got other work to do. He's got to put a beam up the top here. He's got to give me a new pole over in the corner of my shed and move that whole roof sort of around the other way. So he's still got a bit to do. So, this is really not going so well. This is like a how-to that shows you how not to do things. I'm having to put layers of this stuff on and scrape all the yuck off. Russ never sleeps out here, so like I had got my woofers to do this a while back, but I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see. It's quite rusty there already, and so I'm not too happy with how that's going. Not too happy with how this tripod's going either. So I've got a big job on my hands. I've just about had enough. I'm just like,